Hello, my name is Abby Hartraft, and today I will be analyzing the issue of gender in Silence of the Lambs. Specifically, I will be discussing the sexism that women face and the struggle of discovering one's gender identity. The movie follows FBI rookie Clarice Starling as she completes her first assignment, investigating a transvestite serial killer dubbed Buffalo Bill. Clarice's line of work is male dominated. Her employers and clients are all men. This patriarchal setting makes Clarice doubt her abilities. Meanwhile, Buffalo Bill feels overwhelmed in expressing his true gender identity, and in envy, he kills women. Society limits both Clarice and Bill by creating gender barriers that prevent them from expressing themselves. In this scene, Hannibal Lecter makes Clarice feel inferior when he criticizes her job performance and attributes her flaws to her femininity.
Bag and your cheap shoes. You look like a rube, a well-scrubbed, hustling rube with a little taste. Good nutrition's giving you some length of bone, but you're not more than one generation from poor white trash, are you, Agent Starling? And that accent you've tried so desperately to shed, pure West Virginia. What does your father do? Is he a coal miner? Does he stinkle the land? You know how quickly the boys found you, all those tedious, sticky fumblings in the backseats of cars, while you could only dream of getting out, getting anywhere, getting all the way to the end.
You see a lot, Doctor. Or are you strong enough to point that high-powered perception at yourself? What about it? Why don't you look at yourself and write down what you say? Maybe you're afraid to.
As Lecter finishes dehumanizing Clarice, he is standing in his cell while Clarice is sitting outside, demonstrating his dominance and authority. You can see the color drain from her face and her voice is a bit shaky. The camera has a close-up on Lecter's face, then cuts to a slightly farther away shot of Clarice. This tells the audience that Hannibal's words have affected her emotionally, but her assertive reply infers that she is not going down without a fight. Also, the lighting behind Lecter's face is a bit brighter than Clarice's, emphasizing control in the situation. Hannibal is then caught off guard because he is no longer on the offense, so he dismisses her. As Clarice exits, another inmate is seen ejaculating and throws his semen on her, further emphasizing Hannibal's degrading words and playing to the stereotype that women are only good for sex. However, Hannibal isn't the only one disbelieving in Clarice's abilities, just because she's a woman. In fact, in this scene, when Clarice receives the assignment from her boss, Jack Crawford, he phrases it as if the task is very minimal in catching the new serial killer at hand, Buffalo Bill.
Cooperate. I want you to go after him again today in the asylum.
Who's the subject?
The psychiatrist, Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal the cannibal.
I don't expect him to talk to you, but I have to be able to say we tried. So if he won't cooperate, I want just straight reporting. How's he look? How's his cell look? Is he sketching, drawing? If he is, what's he sketching? Here's a dossier on Lecter. Copy of our questionnaire and a special ID for you. Have your memo on my desk by 0800 Wednesday.
Okay. Excuse me, sir, but why the urgency? Lecter's been in prison for so many years now. Is there some connection between him and Buffalo Bill, maybe?
I wish there were. Well,
When Crawford first meets Clarice in his office, he explains that he doesn't have a job for her, but rather a quote unquote interesting errand. This word choice is degrading to Clarice because it implies that she isn't up to the standards to officially work for him because the stereotype is that women run errands and are not on the front lines. This sets Clarice off a bit because she had intended on working for Crawford after she graduates. Crawford appears relaxed and in control of the situation when he reclines in his chair and supports the back of his head with his hands, demonstrating his place in the patriarchy. As they are talking, the backdrop behind Crawford is more illuminated and highlights the leads on Buffalo Bill, while Clarice's backdrop is blurred and dark. Although Crawford has a higher FBI credential, the stark contrast minimalizes Clarice's promises for success because of her sex. Additionally, at the end of the scene, when Clarice asks about the sudden urgency to interview Hannibal, Crawford replies with, "I wish there were," meaning there is no link between Lecter and Bill. This implies that Clarice's interrogation is not vital to the case, and he is just using her to check off all of the boxes. Clarice asks this question because she realizes that there is no real link between Lecter and Bill, and catches on to Crawford's game. In fact, Rotten Tomatoes critic Adam Kempenaar reports that I had no sense of how baked into every frame of the movie Clarice's awareness of her femininity is. The dialogue and lighting in this scene reflect Crawford's doubt in seeing Clarice succeed, but she surprises them all when she figures out Buffalo Bill's true identity before Crawford's own team. Like Clarice, Buffalo Bill also struggles to be taken seriously by society based upon his gender identity. Although biologically male, Bill believes that he is truly a woman and strives to allow his physical appearance to reflect that of a female. However, society and even Bill himself at times do not seem to see him that way. He reverts to killing women with the intent of creating a woman's suit so that he can express himself without judgment. In this scene, Bill expresses his free femininity through a paper bag woman character.
Come on.
I'd fuck myself.
Elements of the mise-en-scene, such as the up-tempo music, bright colors of the makeup and paper bag character, and even the costume shop-esque space where Bill is performing, reflect his comfort and happiness in embracing femininity. However, his excitement must be contained by society, which is why he practices in his isolated cave. The contrast between the room Bill is in and Brooks, his captive, is very different. Brooke is trapped in a cold, damp, and dark well, with blood scraped on the walls. While Bill desires to be female, he still takes advantage of his male privilege. By using his strength and male-presenting frame, he is successfully able to kidnap and murder his victims because he overpowers them. This is shown during the contrast in emotion of Brooke and himself. Also, when Bill says, "I'd fuck me," he displays confusion because he appears to be talking himself into his own sexual appeal as a man, thus emphasizing his conflict with society. Silence of the Lambs is much more than the tellings of a serial killer investigation. It exposes sexism and transphobia in society. Though through Clarice and Buffalo Bill's accounts, we see the discrimination they face. Also, film elements such as mise-en-scene, dialogue, and camera angles add to the portrayal of the patriarchy and the injustices to minorities.